Okay, so I'm going to show you how to set everything up for Sunday morning. Once you get into the church, you'll have to turn some lights on. I already turned a few on, basically just so the camera could see. Secondly, you're going to see this here. If you remove it, you're going to see these two little hex keys. So I already used the small one. The small one unlocks this door here, the front left door. The large one, we're going to take over to the other side of double doors. You walk all the way over here. Oh, and I guess before we get there, this TV right here, you do have to turn that on. The remote for it is in this top drawer here. So you want to get that remote. So once you turn it on, let's see here. You want to select HDMI 1. Now, the volume should be off on this. You shouldn't have to adjust it, but if for whatever reason the volume is on, you need to turn it off, because if we use the volume from the TV, there's going to be a delay in sound. So instead, we have this thing right here. So you'll notice there's a power strip here. Just turn that on. That'll turn everything on that you need there. After service, of course, you need to turn that off and turn the TV off. Really, the only thing you'll need to adjust here, maybe, is this right here. That's just the for your volume for in here. It's just the master. So those power these little speakers here. So that's what we use. It's a direct line from the soundboard, so it's a little bit better than going through the live stream. Then, as you come in here, these double doors have wheelchair accessibility. So up here, you're going to see a little switch that says automatic off and hold open. You're going to want to switch it to automatic. Now, at the end of service, I think someone else usually turns that off, but you can check if you want to, just because if you leave it on and someone pushes the buttons while it's locked, it's going to burn the motors out. So switch this one to automatic as well. And then you're going to want to unlock these doors here with the hex key. Okay. And of course, like I said, I already did some, but make sure the lights are turned on so everything is looking good. I'm going to return the key and we'll go from there. Okay, so now I already turned on the main light in the sanctuary, but I haven't done much else besides that. So, first things first, walk in. Something I like to do, just so I don't have any popping, is plug in my soundboard, the power to them. And you're welcome to use my, not soundboard, sorry, pedal board. And you're welcome to use them as well. So, this here is just a little bit of reverb and auto tune on my voice, very subtle, just to help a little bit. So I plug in the power there. Have another little power cord, plugs into the bottom of my pedal board here. So this volume pedal I have set up for the pads. So you'll notice this iPad here. You turn it on, code for it is 1066, and there's this app I use called STB. It's pretty handy dandy. I have these files for pads downloaded. So when you turn it on, you have to unplug this little sound cord, plug it back in. Should be good. And then you can create these playlists. So for instance, today we got May 28th. Oh, I already got it open. So you can just create, if you hit plus, then you can create a new playlist. I already have one here, May 28th. And you hit the plus and you can add in these files here. So they're pretty good. And you can just fade them in and out with the pedal there. So you hit play. So like this first one here, you'll hit play. It's playing now. Speakers aren't on, so you're not going to hear anything. You can fade it in, fade it out. When you're done, you hit pause. You can select another one. So that's kind of what I have set up right now. The other thing, this right here is going to be for your in-ear monitors. You just plug it in right there, turn it on, and that'll give you a feed from the Aviom here. So now if you need new batteries for either the little power pack there or these microphones, I have plenty. There's a microphone there, there's a microphone there. If you need an extra microphone, they're back in this office area. Generally I do blue, then green, then red if I need it. So if you need new batteries, I know it's kind of a mess in here right now, but I'll leave a stack of these batteries out. And I have a battery checker here. With this, I've noticed if it gets to that, so it should be passed this way over here. It'll probably, if it's full charge, be between the two O's. If it gets to touch that G there, you probably have to change it. So those are new batteries there. These are mostly used up batteries that are still have some charge in it, but not enough to where I feel comfortable. These folders are for the volunteers. At the beginning of the week, I always print off the music and put it in the folders for people. Some of them are labeled, some of them aren't. So I just have that for practice sake and all that. Then something you got to do, this little light switch here turns on our fake sun. So we'll turn that on. You can see that turns on the lights behind the wall there. Now if you open this up, these are going to turn on a lot of the stuff back here. There's going to be this power button here. Just select that, and that'll turn on these stacks. And that's really all you have to do for this. You shouldn't need to fiddle with it. It's pretty well all set up the way it needs to be. Moving right along. Regardless of if we have a piano player or not, I like to take off the cover just to make it look nice. Just a bit of a pro tip. The easiest way to do it is you start from here and you kind of roll it a little bit. Kind of fold it over on itself. Because this can be kind of annoying to put on there. And then you fold it up on top of itself here. And you fold it over like a sandwich. Okay. Once you have that all folded, I generally put it behind the stage here in this little hole. I also keep water and this little treatment for the piano humidifier, and I use the watering can to water underneath there. So next, oh, and I should mention, so you're welcome to use my pedal board, of course. It's relatively intuitive. This red one here is just a reverb. Blue one here is a delay. And if you need to use a loop functionality, you just select a loop here. You start playing, and then when you click that once, that'll start the loop. Click it again, and then it'll start playing. If you need to save, like not delete the loop, but just stop it playing, you can hit this little tab, and that'll stop it. If you are on like just a delay mode, and you can switch from all these different modes, this is your tap tempo, so it's kind of handy there. Just a drive pedal, compression there at the top. This is an A/B switcher. So like today, I'm using both acoustic and electric. So I have them both plugged in here, and I can switch between the two. Nothing too crazy. You're welcome to use that, of course. So now, go back to the soundboard. Lights-wise, have a little bit of options here. So these 3 lights are for the very front platform. You can see when I turn them off, those are for, and they're fader capable. Generally, we just keep them all the way up for service, but if you ever need to do anything, you can. Also have these cans, so if you turn them on, that's what they do. I generally have those on for service all the way up. I'm not going to turn the speakers on just yet because I'm going to turn on the soundboard. So soundboard's going to be covered up. You just take this cover off. And then, of course, you put that on when you're done. This is a little power strip back here. So in order to turn it on, there's these buttons here, and each of those buttons correspond to one of these things. Obviously, we don't need the 4th one, so we just need to click 1, 2, 3. 3rd one's not going to light up, but you do need to click it on. So that's going to start turning the power board on, and the soundboard, and a few other things. So camera-wise, what I like to do is turn them on here. So this first one, there's a little power button. You click. That'll turn it on. This one's kind of annoying. You actually have to close and open this little thing, but the power cord is in the way, so you have to unplug it. I'm going to set this down momentarily. Close it, open it, plug it in again, and then you probably have to adjust the angle once it turns on to something that's kind of good. I like to generally have it kind of square with the, come on, focus, piano and drums, so about like that ought to be fine. This last one, it's a little hard to see where the power button is because it's kind of tall, but let's see if I can get the camera in over here. You'll notice there's this little button right there. You just click that, and that'll turn it on. So it's gonna, oh, I think I moved something. There we go. Okay. I did move something, so let me get it back into focus there. Okay. So, next thing. Now, this order I'm about to describe is kind of important for the sake of live stream. Well, first I'm just going to turn the speakers on real quick, because once the soundboard's on, you can turn the speakers on, and that's okie dokie. For the sake of live stream, you're going to go to this middle computer here and type in the password, which I'll text. Once you're in, you're going to need a few applications. First one, you just need it in the background, is the Sound Studio. And it's because I'm gonna okay, that's fine. Okay, so this is like a recording software basically. You just need to have it minimized in the background. The reason why we have it open is because we record an audio transcript of the sermon itself, and that's automated through ProPresenter. So I'll show you what we do with that. It just opened ProPresenter. We are going to need that open. The other thing we'll need open, come on, it's being kind of slow. Other thing we're going to need open is this iTunes, because we also have some automated stuff to play some pre-service music. So in ProPresenter, I have this template here, Sunday service. It's pretty well set up. So I just have, you can go up into songs, drag and drop the songs, and of course select the version we have. You probably know all that kind of stuff here. So drag and drop them in there. Jay generally puts his sermons in this sermon folder here. So you can find the week's sermon, just drag and drop it into Sunday service. You usually don't have to do anything there. Pretty well intuitive. Nothing too crazy for ProPresenter. At the beginning, this announcements loop, if you click this button, that starts playing a playlist, a music playlist for beginning of the service. And when they click this button, that stops it. That other bit of automation there is this button here, right before the sermon. When they click that, that starts the audio recording for the sermon. And then when you click this, that stops it. When after service, after the recording is done, you're going to see this Sound Studio app. You can just click into it, save the file as into Dropbox under the sermon category. So that's nothing too crazy there. If you have any questions on that, just let me know. I think that's about it for this computer, for a normal like Sunday service. You do need to turn on the projectors. I forgot to do that earlier. So you have these two remotes here. First remote, this is for the front projectors. And you see there's this little thing labeled projector there. So you just hit the power button pointing towards that. And that's going to turn on those front projectors there. For the rear projector, you use this remote. There's a little green on button. And you point it at that one right there. That one's going to take a second to turn on. There it goes. So that'll start casting our slides. Over here, we have our little live streaming setup. So I generally sit back here in case something goes wrong. And also I run it. So if everything goes right, it's not too bad. First things first, you turn on the computer itself, which is power button's located back here on this little Mac thing. You turn on the monitor, power button's right here. Once it turns on, I'll show you what we do. I will not tell you the password right here, but of course you log in as you would expect. Now it's important to start this computer after the computer over here because the Wirecast takes an NDI from ProPresenter into Wirecast, and so it's easier if you turn this on first, then you turn this on. It kind of makes it easier. I need to put in the password, but I'll do that later. So the only app we need here is Wirecast. Now this is actually a TV monitor, so you don't have any of the options way up here. But if you scroll over, you'll be able to like find them and all that. So don't freak out necessarily. So Wirecast, you click into that. It'll turn on. And look at that. Like a charm. Let's cancel all that stuff there. Now I do want to test something here just to make sure it's being okay. I'll just pick a slide here for the thing. And look at that, first try. Now, everything seems to be working really good here on Wirecast. This is what you want to see when it comes up. You want to see the video overlay. You want to see those NDIs if you selected it over here in ProPresenter. The NDI is this text overlay. Now, if this text overlay is flashing, here's a workaround that you can do. So we have this little Roland switcher. This is what handles our camera angles. So you'll notice this monitor has a direct feed from the Roland, so you can see all the different things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what I will do if that NDI is not working. So let's say we're in the sermon here. We'll just start on like the first slide here. Sermon. You should... Oh, listen here, buddy. See, stuff always happens Sunday mornings. So this over here, I'll fix it so that it should be Gucci Gang. But anyways, we'll take a look over here. See, it started doing it. It's not supposed to do that. If it starts flashing a lot like that, here's what you can do. This top layer is responsible for the text. So you can hit J, that clears it. K opens it up again. If it's flashing crazy like, sometimes what I'll do, I'll just hit J. And during the sermon, what I'll do is I'll select number 4 here, which is the sermon point, which it should be showing up. It's not right now, but I'll fix it so that it is. And you can switch between your camera shots with this little switcher deal. So obviously there would be like a slide there, but if you have to do that, obviously you can't have lyrics showing up during the songs, but you'll at least have something for the sermon. I also do that in case someone has built slides in like a different thing besides ProPresenter, like if they built it in Google Slides or PowerPoint or something like that, just because there's not really a good way to overlay the NDIs for the text, because you really just have images. So that's kind of the workaround there. But anyways, of course, this wide angle shot I use for the worship itself. These 2 shots here I use for kind of during the sermon and whatnot. And you can fade between them with this little fader here. You can select what shot you want to go to and what shot you're at right now. And if you just like hit the little slider, it'll transition between them. It's kind of handy dandy. You don't have to do that, just a little kind of cool thing. The other thing you need to do is, you're not going to see it up here, but if you take your cursor and you kind of click around, you're going to see this page. You're going to need to scroll down to Intensity Shuttle Thunderbolt 2 and start output. That's because you have this Roland, which is sending the HDMI signals to this shuttle, which goes into the computer. This shuttle goes out there. So if you don't click that start output, you're not going to have any feed in the foyer. So that's what does that. The other thing you sometimes need to do, it should do it on its own, but sometimes it doesn't. You'll notice this little box down here with text. So sometimes you need to reboot the feed so that the nursery can have something. So you unplug number 1, then you unplug number 2, and you wait a little bit, and you unplug 1 again, and sorry, you plug in 1 again, and you plug in 2. So I'm gonna do that real quick. And after that, nursery feed should be working fine. This week, I should be available if something is going wrong Sunday morning. So I will be able to call if you need me. Of course, when you're done, now, when service starts, about 5 minutes before service, you're going to see this stream and record button turn green. If it doesn't, just press it so that it turns green. That's what starts the streaming. After service, of course, you unclick it so that it'll look like this again. That'll stop the streaming and save the YouTube video. If you don't do that, it's going to continue recording, and then it's like, you can't really do anything about it, because once you get so many hours of feed, it won't let you edit it anymore in YouTube. So then you're just stuck with this massive YouTube video. So it's really, 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 really important that you unclick that so that it stops streaming, and then you just have like an hour-and-a-half service in YouTube as opposed to like 3 days of recording that's just black. Of course, after service, you turn this off. You turn everything off like you did to begin with. Soundboard stuff, I'll probably do like a separate video for that if you need anything. But for the sake of running service, you yourself don't need to do a ton with the soundboard. I believe that's pretty much everything I do to set up Sunday mornings. Trying to think. I think that should be it. So if I forgot anything or left anything out, let me know, and I can walk you through some things. Like I said, I should be available to take a call if need be. So that should get you.